internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. Today, I need you to hear me loud and clear because what's happening right now in 2025 is nothing short of historic. Since 2020, everything you thought was normal has been ripped apart. We had I can't breathe movements, which they set up. We had gender roles flipped upside down, or they were promoting being, transgender and all that stuff, right? Like, it was just crazy what we have gone through. We had a worldwide system reset under the disguise of a crisis. CV-19 didn't just change society, it reset the world. And today, the next phase of that reset is here. And that is the financial rails. The very pipes that move global money are being torn up and rebuilt. And we are sitting at ground zero of this transition. Before I get into some very bullish information from them saying it on video, let's briefly go over what happened in the last 24 hours. Mastercard came out and they announced that they have added stablecoin settlement support for their merchants. Listen, we haven't seen anything roll out yet, okay? They added it, great, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, nothing has happened yet, okay? We don't even have regulation. We don't even have stablecoin legislation yet, right? So banks can't even interact with them at any type of full scale. Why is this important? Because Ripple has been working with Mastercard for a very long time. We made this tweet back on August 2023. That is when Ripple came out and announced their partnership with Mastercard, and they're working as, a CBDC partner. But remember, CBDC is pretty much a stablecoin, so it's the same language.
I mean, a central bank digital currency is a stablecoin. It's just issued by the government. I mean, a central bank digital currency is a stablecoin. It's just issued by the government.
And I had provided this evidence almost 4 years ago now when I first published this video. And of course, what they said back then, BS, clickbait, blah, 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 blah. Again, time will reveal everything, and whoever doesn't, jump on the boat here or catch the train is going to regret it for the rest of their lives. So it is what it is at the end of the day. You could only do so much. And now I'm going to prove this to you. I want you to listen to what Tobias Adrian says here. He's the financial counselor of the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and he's been saying this for years. Tobias helped design a lot of PDFs, one of them being the trust bridges and money flows, all showing how the old financial rails are being dismantled and new digital infrastructures are taken over. And in here, when they talk about models, they talk about a private settlement asset and a marketplace such as Ripple and Ripple's XRP. Okay, why is this important? And again, don't forget, they're also a part of the BIS Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructure. Ripple. This is very important because you have to listen to what Catherine says here. You're probably wondering who Catherine is, but in a moment you will know. And when the stuff she says about the BIS Innovation Hub, it is not, it's all true. But take a listen to what Tobias Adrian says here. This is so bullish.
But clearly, international monetary stability, global financial stability is all rooted in the plumbing, in the details of institutions, building infrastructures that are resilient, trustworthy, that fulfill policy objectives, but then allow for innovation and new technologies is really the goal. A key challenge, I think, is that we easily get locked into something, and how do we move to sort of like the next technology? I think the infrastructures themselves innovate oftentimes, but sometimes they are replaced and by other newer forms, and so. But sometimes they are replaced and by other newer forms, and so I think at the moment we are in a time that is really exciting because all of that is so like at cross currents, and I think there are huge opportunities, but there are also pitfalls, and so having a very thoughtful and intentional policy approach is absolutely key for central banks, financial institutions, and policymakers more broadly.
He is spelling out the blueprint of the future. And you better believe Ripple and his digital asset XRP are pretty much embedded in that blueprint. And for those of you who know what Ripple has been building since day one, you already understand. They were never chasing price. They were building the new plumbing for the world's money. That's why market capitalization means nothing in the new world. Utility wins, liquidity wins, compliance wins. And I've been saying that since the inception of my channel. Now I want you to listen very carefully to what Catherine Austin Fitts says in this clip I'm about to show you. She's just not anyone. She served as an assistant secretary of housing and federal housing commissioner under President George Bush. She knows she knows all about the financial ecosystem, and she knows that it's being replaced. And when you hear her mention the BIS, remember this, okay? Remember that Ripple and his digital asset XRP has been referenced directly by the BIS. Ripple is the member of the CPMI, like I mentioned to you guys earlier, and there's way more that we don't even know, okay? I'm just giving you some of the, just some of the little stuff, like breadcrumbs to you. There is so much more correlations to Ripple, XRP, and the BIS Innovation Hub. But now listen to what she says here. That is monumental. Like, I don't think you guys understand how deeply Ripple and digital asset XRP has been embedded into the new world that they have been creating. And this is what I mean. Thank you so much for Tucker Carlson pretty much proving to us, the audience, myself, that people don't know, the BIS, the IMF, the World Bank, what they do.
What's that?
The BIS is the Bank of International Settlements.
I'm not sure my brain's big enough for this, but keep going.
It is.
What they have been doing since inception. That's Tucker Carlson. You would have thought that he would know at least what the BIS is. And that is why I tell you, we have been educating ourselves on topics, on organizations that your average person walking on the sidewalk does not know. We are not the same. And as much as it sounds, like you are. But individuals that are watching this video and you have zero crypto and you don't understand crypto or you don't believe in it, just listen. We have done our due diligence on here. We know what we're talking about. We know that the only way to win in this era is patience, something that money cannot buy. Okay, everything that we have presented on this channel has become factual. It will with time. It's something that no human has ever witnessed before. Our minds have never gone through anything like this, so we have to program it. Just like how our minds were programmed through CV19. A lot of you guys got programmed, and the ones that didn't saw right through the BS, right? We're going through the same thing right now, and there is so much money to be made in this ecosystem that it blows my mind. This isn't theory, it's happening. And you are early, extremely early. Ripple wasn't an afterthought when it comes to the BIS, the IMF. Ripple was a reference model. Ripple went there since day one. We got to remember that. While the world was distracted, people have no idea that Ripple became a part of the DNA of the new system. And remember what I said about the whole SEC versus Ripple case? I said that you got nothing to worry about. And I made a tweet. Maybe I'll try to find it. I made a tweet a long time ago. I remember this saying, Ripple and XRP are going to win regardless. Because the IMF, the World Bank, the BIS dwarf the SEC. Dwarf the SEC. And I cannot believe how accurate we have been. Again, we knew the day the lawsuit was dropped, we knew Ripple already won. Only the morons thought we lost. Okay? Like, it's comical that people were even saying XRP was a security back then. It's disgusting. Like, how stupid can you be? I can't wrap my head around such, knowledge that can't be, indulged. It's like common sense. Read the facts, right? And that's why when we talk about $100 XRP, it's math. Like, you got to be a moron to not see it. It's math, it's utility, it's value on chain. It's called scaling the system. It's called demand, it's called supply. My goodness. Remember, the old system is collapsing. The new rails are being installed. And XRP and Ripple, they're in the middle of it. This isn't about trading it. This is about history being rewritten in real time. So just hang in, hold tight, because we know right, okay? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. You're either going to be a builder of the new system, or you're going to be a spectator begging you buy in once it's already built. And you're going to be buying very small stuff. So with that being said, we will be back with another video.
They told us dream small, but we had the stars in mind. While they chased hype, we studied time. In the noise we found the signal. Brad knew just what to do. Now XRP hums like jazz, running smooth and true. Money's changing, systems bend, ripple flowing to the end. Truth is quiet, bold and deep. We salute the ones who lose no sleep. Salute to the minds that built this chain. Salute, salute, through the trials, through the pain. Salute, salute, to the calm, to the wise. Salute, 100 in our eyes. Bitcoin maxis yell on stage, stuck in loops they call belief, while XRPL just clears the way. No delay, no grief. They hoard coins like dusty gold, but we got utility in every fold. The future ain't loud, it's steady breathing. Real ones know what's worth believing. It ain't hype, it's code and soul. We salute the ones who see the whole. Salute to the builders, to the flow. Salute, salute, where the real ones choose to go. Salute, salute, to the heart, to the plan. Salute, XRP will lead the land. Value don't lie, and truth don't shake. Let the whole world break, we remake. Strategic reserve, written in stars. XRP gonna take us far. So here's to the signal, clear and bright. To the dreamers who held on tight. No matter the storm, no matter the fight. Salute, we rise with the light.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch. think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.